Yo folks, what's going down? Today we're going to talk about 2023 BBCOR bats. Now, don't get too excited. There's not going to be a lot of hitting in this video. This is really just going to be an overview of what's out there for 2023. So if you're in the market for a 2023 bat, you're trying to sort through the hype, trying to get some general sense of like how bats swing, how big the barrels are, how much they cost, all that kind of fun stuff. This is the video to watch. We're going to fly through different categories of 2023 BBCOR bats and give you a sense. Hopefully by the end of it, you at least know a category of what it is you might want to start looking closely at before you pull the trigger on something. So let's get at it. Here is the type of bat. You have single piece alloys. You have two piece or hybrid bats, we like to call them. And then you have two piece composite bats. So these are your single piece bats. You have a bat like the Vandal, Cat X, the Easton Alpha, the Slugger Atlas, the new Bone Saber, the new Strato. This one has the actual traditional axe handle, not the flared now that they're going with. And of course the Voodoo 1 with these single piece bats. In terms of the two piece world, again, Victus should be coming out with some new bats later this year like the Nox. So this is the older one, but just to give you an idea that it's out there. You have an Axe Avenge hybrid, also with the traditional knob, not the flared one that they're trying to come out with. You have a bat like the Encore. This is obviously an old Select Power, but just to put it there will be a new Select Power that comes out this year. But the Select Power, really popular in that two-piece hybrid space. This is also the old Gunner War Stick, but there is a 2023 Gunner out there. The very popular goods, a 2022 bat, but DeMarini, as we said, isn't coming out with any new stuff for 2023. So this will be the bat, and it's still super popular. Of course, the Cat X Connect, which everybody loves. And then you have the Hazardous True. Now, True, there's a long story here, but True's basically out of the bat business. They're going to go with a different line, the parent company, under B44 gloves. But you will still see this bat out there, and we do like this bat. It's really a good bat, and you can usually find it actually in a really good deal because they're out of business. But in any case, this is a hybrid bat, not a single piece. They have this sort of transitionless transition, if that's even a thing. Two-piece composite space. This is the Rawlings Icon, so you're looking at the new Quattro Pro. You have a bat like the Zoa. This is the D-Lab version of it, but the bat hasn't changed for 2023. The Hype Comp from Easton, the Meta from Slugger, and of course, the very popular Cat X Composite from Marucci. So there you go. Those are generally your three categories of bats, and lots of people, when they start to decide what they want, they sort of decide, do they want top of the line, big barrel, light swing in a two-piece composite? Do they want a heavier bat that still has a good feel in something like a hybrid? Or do they want a stiff single-piece bat in something like a single-piece alloy? In terms of pricing, they sort of stay in that same order where you have two-piece composites, sort of your hybrid section, then your single-piece alloys. We took some of the older bats out that are going to be reproduced at some point this year, simply because we don't know what the price point is going to be, but we suspect they'll fall probably pretty close to in line, but with what these are. Down here, two-piece composite bats. These guys are all $499. You then have bats. Now this Zoa, again, this is the D-Lab Zoa. You can find for like $399 right now. Two-piece composite bat, but I don't know how long it's going to be around. I don't think they're making any more of them, but they probably have some in stock, I think, on like DeMarini's site. You then have your hybrid section. These bats are all $399. And then you have your single-piece alloy section, which range from something like $379 in the Cat X, $349 in bats like the Strato and the Bone Saber and the Voodoo 1 and the ALX, and then $299 in a bat like the Atlas. That's just so depressing to us. Like, single piece alloy bats, they all used to be $199, every single one of them. And now you got single piece bats that are $379 in a bat like the Cat X, the Voodoo 1. The hype around those bats is just, it's astronomical, and it just blows our mind. But welcome to the nature of the business. Bats that used to be $259, $359 are now $459. I mean, we've been doing this for, going on 10 years, but probably in the last 6 or 7 years, we've seen every bat increase by 25 to 30%. Why is that? Well, it's frankly because people will pay it. I mean, that's it. These companies aren't dumb. They do a great job of creating exciting products, and then someone looks close at that product, goes for it, pays a lot of money for it, and then everybody feels like they have to have it. And so it creates this run on the market. I mean, you got bats like the Voodoo 1 last year that you could have bought in older versions. You can buy in different versions even now, and people are paying above and beyond market price Anyways, don't get us started. Don't get us started on the craziness that is bat pricing. But in any case, that's the structure. That's sort of the general range of bat pricing. Do you get more if you pay more? That's the question we get all the time by email. Is it worth paying the extra $100? Unfortunately, we can't answer that question for you. Individually, it's your budget. We know people spend a ton of money on baseball. So the one argument is, what's another $100? What's another $100 for a baseball bat? It's the one thing you're gonna use all season outside of maybe your glove. What's another $100? But at the same time, we also like to say, hey, look for used bats, look for deals. We don't think in terms of exit speeds, and I think you'll see in successive videos from us or in future videos from us and in past videos that we've made, exit speeds don't change much. As much as people wanna hype a bat and say, hey, this bat is hot, whatever, BBCOR bats all perform right in the same wheelhouse. There's really not a ton that you get in terms of exit speeds by paying a little bit more. You usually get a better swing weight, you might get a bigger barrel, you most definitely get a better feel, but other than that, the extra $100 doesn't really buy you any more velocity. So if that's helpful, great. If not, not sure what to tell you. You're gonna be out there with a lot of people trying to search for the right bat and the right price point and the right bat, which is always a battle. The next part is the swing weight. We think it's the most important thing of any bat you could ever decide on what to choose is the right swing weight. Get the right swing weight over the right bat any time of the week. This is swing weight from heaviest to the lightest. There it is. Notice a couple things that are probably useful. Number one, Victus Nox, again, will probably come out with a different version later this year. Will it be a heavy swinging bat? We will find out, but this is definitely the old version of where it sits. Notice how heavy Easton tends to make these guys right here. So this Encore, this Alpha ALX, definitely should be considered end-loaded or heavier bats. Look at a bat like the Goods, definitely on the top 2/3, realizing that's a 2022 still, but a lot of people are gonna be looking at that bat this year. If you wanna go for the bat right in the middle, I think it's this bad boy. I think the Atlas, at least these are all 33-inch bats. In the 33-inch, I think, is your best bet in terms of if you want the middle of the road swing weight, that's gonna be it. This is what we think is probably the most interesting, is how light the Cat X is this year. This bat has come down considerably from the Cat 9, but the Cat X will be your lightest swinging option this year. Again, these bats all swing very light. You'll have a hard time differentiating them, but if you want the lightest swinging BBCOR bat for 2023, then that's gonna be the Marucci Cat X. So every bat we have, we also measure the barrel lengths, like how long is the maximum barrel size. And we do that with this little ring right here. We take this ring, we put it around the bat, we then take the old trusty tape measure, and then we measure the distance between the bottom of the table, of course, and to the very top of our bat right here, of this ring. Then we mark all that stuff and we put them in order. So the biggest barrel this year for 2023 is the Rawlings Icon. It's actually tied with the Marucci X Composite. These barrels are absolutely massive. I think there's something like 10 inches in terms of that distance between the bottom of the bat and the top of where that actual ring hits. Then you have a bat like the Meta, which is also very big. And this is sort of your row. Surprising, again, we think one of the ways that Marucci made this bat as light as it is, they really thinned out that barrel. In fact, if you watch the way that this bat, the barrel comes down, the way that the ring sort of falls down in here, you can see it's actually pretty tight, like right in here, but it just keeps going. And so it's got like a little bit of a gap, but it just sort of keeps sliding all the way down there to where it ends up only being about 4 inches in terms of the max barrel size. Really surprising, but that doesn't matter. In any case, these bats down here have very thin barrels, not maximum barrels, where those bats up there have very big barrels. So if you want to bat with a big barrel, choose one on the left. If you want to bat with a small barrel, then of course, well, who wants to bat with a small barrel? Nobody does. But you actually just don't care that much. If you don't care if it's massive or that extra 1/8 or a 1/16 of an inch at some point along the barrel, then not a big deal. Scratch it off your list. You don't care about this. But if you're trying to decide between two bats and everything else is equal, why not choose one with a bigger barrel? Sure, makes sense. Another thing we've been put onto is the actual length of the bat. So we're measuring from the actual handle of the bat to the actual end part of the hitting. They have some weird end cap that's like rounded at the end. We don't count that. But we've found actually that some bats are actually quite short, which is how you affect your swing weight a lot and put your bat in a different class of bats, is by changing around that the actual length of the bat, which seems kind of crazy to us that it happens, but indeed it does. In fact, of all the bats we have, well, let me show you this first. So what we like to do is we want to measure from the end of the knob, obviously, and then we want to measure all the way along and get 2022 Meta It's actually 32 7/8. In fact, it's probably pretty close to 32 3/4. It's not a full 33-inch bat. So that's what we're measuring on all these bats. Putting all the bats in order. These bats down here, Easton's bats, are actually pretty true to 33 inches, which isn't surprising considering also that their swing weights happen to be heavier because they're actually the full length of the bat. Whereas when you come down to a bat like the Goods, and this is just absolutely shocking to us. Both of these bats lined up exactly with this tape measure. And if you look at the end of these bats, there's your 33-inch mark. These bats are actually 32 1/8. If you go off the piece of actual metal, you're looking at 32 1/8, maybe 32 1/4, somewhere in there. Even the end cap doesn't get you there, right? The end cap only gets you to about 32 3/4. So these 33-inch bats, are actually more like 32, maybe and a half if you're being generous, if you want to count the end cap. Make our point even more. And we're not trying to pick on DeMarini, okay? Everyone does this, but this is your quote unquote 33-inch bat that's actually 32 inches. So if we put this on the scale, you've got a 7.41 here, 23.8 31.22-inch bat, 33-inch bat, 31 1/4, 32 1/4 inch length, and it's 31.21 ounces. So it's almost, it's less than a drop one is what it actually is. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is the swing weight, that it feels right, that it is the right swing weight. But once again, what we can't do is we can't just go off of comparing two bats off the shelf that both happen to be a 33-30, because they're not, because bats are completely different based on different companies. Their swing weights are different, their balance points are different, their barrel sizes are different, and most importantly, apparently, their actual lengths are different. We're comparing 32 versus 33-inch bats, and it's really hard then to do a head-to-head comparison and say one bat just happens to be better than the other. Anyways, don't get us started. Last thing we're gonna do is just a little bit of a sound check. Some people wanna hear what a bat sounds like, especially if you're out there buying it online, you don't get a chance to hit it or swing it. What does this mean for actual performance? We can't imagine it means anything. Some people like to have some, what we think are pretty crazy theories. But in any case, sound does matter, only in the sense that you have a preference for what it might sound like. If you do, these might be helpful. Goods, this is again 2022 Goods, but they don't have a 2023 Goods. Here it is, surprisingly hollow sound for a metal bat, we think. This is the Bone Saber. Absolute sleeper, we think. Absolute sleeper this year. Look at the end cap on that, by the way. That's cool. We think it's cool. Little orange flare. Ben Jenkins knows what he's doing, I'm telling you right now. 2023 Bone Saber, single piece alloy. It's loud. 2023 Encore, hybrid, weird something going on. This is it. Need a baseball. Feels heavy. Solid. Still love the power boost knob though. Still love it. The very famous Marucci CAT-X Connect 2023. Massive flare, by the way. Look at the flare on that knob. It's huge. It's huge. Biggest one we got. Cat right now because same barrel. See if it sounds the same. Got the new gel knob this year. Also, massive flare. 2023 CAT-X. Does that sound the same to me? Kind of. This one sounded louder. Feels good. Sounds clean. Maybe the other sleeper bat of the year. Really light. Strata 2023. It's loud. Precision variable blast wall. I'm sold. Axe Pro hybrid, Avenge Pro hybrid. It feels like I'm holding an axe. That was a shot. Icon, the Rawlings Icon, the new Quattro Pro. Feels good, huge barrel, light swing. That's a masher. Look, and it even has zero loss energy technology. Nobody knows what that means. Not even Rawlings. This was good, you know? Flywall barrel design. Different colors. It's a crap hit. But you heard it sound, pinging. A lot about the Atlas. It's orange. That's what I gotta say about that. A little too orange for me, but you know, and not enough flair. For me, not enough flair. I like that fat boy Marucci flair. Not enough flair. But this is what it sounds like. Sounded like a metal bat. The Marucci Cat Composite. Huge flare, big barrel, can't miss. Oh, the softball daddy hack right there. M-E-T-A, M-E-T-A. Ah! No, it was not. And last but not least, the 2023 32 1/8 inch Voodoo 1 from DeMarini. This ball better go 1,000 feet. There it is. Hey, and there you have it. 2023 BBCOR bats. We talked about lots of things. I can't even remember. The sound. We talked about the swing weight, super important. Barrel size, bat length, the type of bat, the price. Generally speaking, all those bats perform really close to the same. Remember, the most important thing for a bat to feel right for you is a bat that feels right for you. Remember, your best bat isn't one that someone else can hit the hardest or someone else can hit the farthest. Your best bat, it really just comes through a lot of testing, maybe some research, and then trying some stuff out, man. Get your friend's bat, get your neighbor's bat. See if you can find a place you can go hit some stuff. Get a feel for what you like, what you prefer, and then, you know, go try to make a smart buying decision, realizing that there's probably not too many wrong decisions, although there are some wrong decisions, but there's plenty of right decisions in the BBCOR space. We like the idea of spreading the love, find something unique, find something that really works for you, and then go rock and roll. And man, like we always say, get practicing, man. There is no compensation for practice. That's the trick. The secret's in the dirt. So good luck for 2023, and hopefully this was helpful as you're looking for your 2023 BBCOR bat.